Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my everyday brow routine. I'm going to show you some of my favorite brow products to help make them look awesome and refined and just overall like nice and sharp looking. Yeah, that's basically the intro. So let's just get into it. Okay, so when it comes to my brows, the first thing I always like to do is, I did this before the video, but just kind of look at them and see like if I need to pluck any hairs or anything in the middle, basically just to make them look like even sharper than they already do. I was blessed with decent brows. They're pretty full by themselves. A lot of the times I can just put some brow gel through them and they're pretty much good to go. But a lot of the time I like to kind of have a more like, I don't know, like refined looking eyebrow. So I like to put like a pomade in and some brow gel also. So I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite things to do for my brows. The first thing I would say you probably should invest in, honestly, is a brow brush. Mine is kind of janky, but I put tape on it. This is the Anastasia number 12 brush. It is my absolute favorite brow brush. It's nice because it has a decent size spoolie on one side, and then on the other side it has a nice like angled eyebrow brush, which is absolutely perfect for getting those nice kind of sharp defined lines on your eyebrows. These are definitely under $20 and I got mine at Ulta, and you can get it at Sephora, Anastasia's website. But yeah, I think these are super great, and if you take good care of it, this will last you a really long time. So the first thing that I like to put in my brows as far as product is a pomade. My favorite product is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. These are just my favorite. I think they're really good and they're hyped up for a reason. It's a good product in my opinion. So I use the shade Soft Brown. I used to use the shade Caramel when I was blonde, but I had to go a little bit darker. Soft Brown is still it's not very dark at all, but I think it's perfect for a nice like subdued subtle look. Because I have already somewhat thick brows, if I use a pomade that's too dark, they tend to look a little like crazy, a little bit boxy, a little sharpied. So I'm more into the understated Instagram brow look, to where it looks really nice and sharp and refined, but at the same time looks really natural. So yeah. So what I do basically is, so the pomade has a little lid that it comes with. So what I like to do is dip into the pomade with my brush like this, and then take my lid and kind of like take the product off and sharpen up the like edge of the brush at the same time. That's my favorite way to do it, and it kind of gives you this nice sharp brush so that it's easier to get a nice defined look. So the first thing I like to do is brush up my brow hairs. I brush them up and like out. Okay, and the first thing I like to do is draw a line from here to about here. So let me do that really quickly. It's just gonna kind of give you a nice basis of where to kind of start with your eyebrow. Next thing I like to do is draw another, whoa, just combing my hair with my spoolie. So I like to take another line from where my arch is. You can tell where your arch is if you put on the side of your nose onto your eye. That's where your arch is. So mine's pretty much where it looks like it would be. That's how most people's are, honestly. So I just like to kind of arch my brow and then draw a line from my arch to my tail. So it kind of gives your eyebrow a nice kind of shape. And now that your eyebrow's kind of shaped, it's easy to see where you need to fill in and where you need to draw like more lines. So let's carry on. So I'm gonna grab a little bit more product, but like I said, I always like to work with less because, like I always say, it's so much easier to add more than it is to take product away, especially if you already done your full face. Like I have, like, there's no makeup remover going on this face anytime soon. So yeah. So the next thing I like to do is just kind of take my brush like this on its side and start kind of swooshing up with the brow. So what this is going to do is, first it's going to blend out that line on the bottom, which we drew. It's going to make it look a little bit more, it's going to look less harsh. And also it's going to just add a little bit of color to the front of your brow without it looking boxy. And that's kind of, I think, the biggest issue with the Instagram brow for me is that I don't like how boxy it looks. I think it looks kind of unrealistic. I want my brows to look natural, but at the same time kind of filled in and maintained. So grabbing more product, so I did the front part, and now I'm just gonna kind of fill in where I feel like I need to fill in. So it's kind of easy to tell once you brush your hairs up. Just kind of fill in wherever it's a little bit sparse. That's where it always will look the best. And continue to kind of brush through your brows throughout this whole process because it just like blends the product better if you do it every once in a while instead of like all at once at the end. It just looks a lot better in my opinion. And I feel like everyone has a good brow and everyone has a bad brow. Do you guys feel the same way? I see those posts all the time on Instagram. The funny ones where it's like one brow like goes to Harvard, reads in its spare time, volunteers at an animal shelter. The other brow, it's like failed, you know, basic math, lives with parents. You know, it's funny. That's obviously I didn't capture the mood, but I'm gonna go really quickly and do my other brow with the exact technique off camera, and then I'll be right back to show you guys what I will do next. Okay, so both brows are now filled in. They look pretty good. So really quick before I go on to brow gel, I wanted to show you guys the tweezers that I like using are from Tweezerman. These are just like nice standard tweezers, but they work so well. They're good for applying lashes. They are amazing for really getting like precise hairs without plucking like the wrong hair. I feel like we've all done that. We've been like, yes, I got it. And then you pluck like this huge hair and you're like, why do I have a hole in my right brow now? These don't do that. They're super precise and I love them. So yeah. The next thing I want to talk about is if I'm being like super extra, which I'm not going to be today because this is not something I do on a daily basis. And I don't know who has time to do this, you know, unless like this is all you do. So if I wanted to get a really sharp, precise brow, I would use some concealer and a little brush to kind of like clean up my eyebrow application. This does make your eyebrows look even more flawless, but I'm not going to do it today because it's just not something realistically that I would do every day. So this is the Morphe M508 brush. It is so perfect for doing this exactly because it's so good for just getting precisely lined eyebrows under there, you know? It's also good for carving out a cut crease. And then the concealer is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair. This is so good because it's really full coverage but looks pretty natural on your skin, honestly. Next, let's talk about brow gels. So I have 4 brow gels that I think are amazing. I have a couple high-end and then a couple drugstore. And the drugstore ones are just as good as the high-end, so don't feel like you're missing out. For me, I like using colored brow gels. I think they're fantastic. Ones that just give my brows just a little bit more of a pop and make them look even more just like defined and beautiful and separated. So I have 4 brow gels that I really love. So I'm gonna go start with the ones that are drugstore and then go to the high-end ones. So the first one is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper. I have the shade medium to dark. So basically what it looks like is just this little spoolie. It's a little bit longer than I would like, and that's my only complaint with this, is because it's so big, a lot of product does come out. What it does is it like lifts, it separates your brows, and it is called a plumper, which is kind of weird, but it does. It almost like plumps up your eyebrows. My one thing with this is be careful because if you have any brows like around your eyebrows, you know what I'm saying, like ones up here, it will grab onto those and it'll make your eyebrows look really messy if you're not careful. So that's my only kind of thing with this, is that the brush is so big that it does kind of get random hairs. But it's really good product. Next is probably my favorite out of every brow gel ever is the Essence Make Me Brow. This is so good because it is so small. It has little fibers on it, so it's gonna make your brows look a little bit more voluminous and full. But what I love about it is the brush is really small. It just coats your brows perfectly. This is what I'm gonna use today, but I wanna talk about the rest of them first. Next is a mini, but it's really good. This is Benefit Gimme Brow. This is very similar to the Essence Make Me Brow, except the brush is maybe a little bit smaller and there's not as much product that comes off on it. I have the shade 3. This is perfect for just an everyday. It volumizes and has some fibers in it. And overall, it's just a really, really great brow gel. Lastly, these are all my favorites, but this is also one of my favorites. This is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. This stuff is no joke. Like, if you put this on, it's super glue. Your brows are not gonna move at all. So I would recommend this more for someone who maybe has long and crazy eyebrows like myself, someone who has curly eyebrows like myself, who just can't seem to keep your brows in one place. This will really, really help you, I think. So it's just clear, so you don't have to worry about getting the right shade or making your brows look too dark. What I love about it also is that it kind of like blends out your eyebrows as you're doing it. So if you feel like they're a little bit messy and a little bit unblended still, this is definitely going to help with that a lot. So, like I said, I'm going to use my Essence Make Me Brow today. And I just like to kind of start in the beginning and just kind of comb upward. You guys can already kind of see maybe that it's adding a little bit of fullness and texture to my eyebrows. I'm just going along to the bottom, and I like brushing my brow hairs up in the front because I think it makes me look, not that I'm like old, but it gives you a little bit more of a youthful look in my opinion. My sister absolutely hates it. It's funny, like whenever I do her eyebrows and I start combing them up in front, she's like, no, stop right there. So it's definitely a preference. It's kind of like the nose highlight, the tip of the nose highlight. Some people love it, some people hate it. I like brushing them up in the front. Like I said, I think it makes me look youthful and cute, but that's just me. The last thing I like to do for my eyebrows for like an everyday super beautiful glow is add a little bit of highlight right underneath my arch. So my favorite highlighter of all time, this is no surprise if you watch my channel regularly, is the Lou-Manizer by TheBalm Cosmetics. It's just the perfect, it's the perfect kind of like glowy white highlight that I think flatters probably light to medium skin tones. But yeah, so I just like picking it up on that same brush. This is the Morphe M508, and I just like kind of taking it and just placing it right underneath my eyebrow arch. And then I like to drag it down to blend it out so it's not just like this random stripe underneath my eyebrows. Hope you guys can see it. It overall just makes your look complete, I think. It just like, oh, it's so pretty. And like I said, you're just gonna wanna take this underneath the arch of your brow. If you take it everywhere, it's gonna look a little funky. While I'm here, let's just hit up the inner corner because I forgot to do that today. Okay guys, so those are all of my eyebrow essentials as well as a little quick tutorial on how I like to do my eyebrows for every day. I hope that maybe you learned something from this video or maybe now have some products that you may want to pick up or try because of this video. So yeah, so as usual, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more videos like this one. And as usual, I will see you guys in next Monday's video. Bye!